Faith is the means by which the object of your desire in your imagination comes into material reality. This was a concept that was popularized by the best-selling business book of all time, which I have with me right here, Think and Grow Rich. You may have heard of this book. It's written by Napoleon Hill. It's written in the mid-20th century. And basically what Napoleon Hill illustrated in this book, although it is published as a business book, the premise of it and the main theme is that your thoughts create your reality. Okay, and so how do we utilize this power that is our imagination to have a visualization, have a desire, to envision it, and bring it to us in the material world, right? Because that's what we ultimately want. We want this materialization of that which we desire. That's the process of reality creation, to see it come to fruition. And what he talks about in chapter 4, talking about belief and the attainment of desire, he speaks on this one quality that is pivotal to that process. It is the beginning of that process, the number one most important ingredient for that recipe. And that ingredient is faith. Having faith in attaining your desire, that it is inevitable, that it will come to you when you learn to harness the power of your thoughts and mix those thoughts, as he says, mix them with emotional feeling. So mixing your thought with your feeling, that is the means by which desire comes into its physical equivalent. And the book is Think and Grow Rich, so this obviously pertains to money, increasing the amount of revenue in your business, or if you want to ask for more money in your job. But this also relates to relationships, increasing feelings of love in your relationships, feeling closer with your partner, being able to be more communicative, to feel deeper intimacy there. This also translates to the health of your body even, and what it means to be a healthy person and how that looks for you. How does that person think and how do they feel on a regular basis about their day-to-day habits, what they're partaking in, how they feel about those habits, and what they're thinking about the habits in which they're partaking, so that they can ultimately be a healthier, more vibrant, more energetic person. So it translates across any domain of your life. You just have to have a desire, right? A burning desire. That's something else that's discussed in this book. And so how do we develop faith? Because all the spiritual teachings, all the great spiritual teachings, talked about the importance of faith, having faith. Christ said in the Bible, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you'll move mountains. So if we can have just a little bit of faith, of this faith, that will make for miracles in our lives, or what seems to be miracles in our lives. And so Napoleon Hill kind of goes into detail about how it is we develop faith. And I'll use the word confidence here. It's interchangeable with faith because the word confidence in Latin translates to with faith. So if you're confident, you have faith in yourself, you have faith in your vision, you trust in that vision, trust in your process. So ultimately it's talking about how do we develop confidence in attaining that which we desire, and that's what I'm wanting to discuss with you today. Now, there is a formula that we can talk about toward the end of this video, and you can implement that immediately. But the underlying principle of this formula of developing faith, of having this firm sense of knowing that although it's not materially, externally visible to you, you know it will come into reality. The underlying principle of making that transition or developing that characteristic is autosuggestion or self-given suggestions. This is also under the term of affirmation. I've published a free subconscious reprogramming masterclass. You can look at the link in the description for that there. This is one of the steps of subconscious reprogramming that I've laid out. There's awareness, there's acceptance, and then that last step is affirmation or auto-suggestion. And though it is the last step, it still is just as important to implement at the beginning, right? Because we become aware of the limiting beliefs that we've been holding on to, and now we want to change those. And so now we move into a state of acceptance, accepting where we've been, accepting that everything we've been up to this moment, what we've believed in, has created our environment for better or for worse, and we accept that so we can then accept the ideal beliefs and who we desire to be coming forward. And then that last step is affirmation or auto-suggestion. So using that which we don't want to help us formulate a vision for that which we do want, to kind of make clearer that desire, what it is we really want, to begin to focus on that more, and then embedding in that or pairing with that these affirmations or auto-suggestions to help us recenter. Because as we go about the process of changing, reprogramming our subconscious mind to more naturally be the person we desire to be, there's inevitably going to come resistance in the external. Because, again, everything externally is a manifestation of who you've been up to this point, for better or for worse. And so this is where the tool of affirmations come in, or auto-suggestions. Because through the mere skill of repetition, of having these ideal beliefs, repeating these ideal beliefs to yourself on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, returning to them again and again, they help you to remember who you truly are, that is, who you desire to be. So that's the purpose and the power of affirmations. And again, that is the underlying principle in this book, Think and Grow Rich, to developing faith. Because again, faith is the main ingredient for translating thoughts into their physical equivalent. Okay, where your focus goes, your energy flows. So what you're focusing on internally, okay, how you perceive events and situations in your life, the thoughts you think on a day-to-day basis, as well as the feelings that you identify with on a day-to-day basis, because you can have feelings that are suboptimal, right? You can have a feeling of worry or doubt or uncertainty in yourself as you go about making more money for yourself or starting to put yourself out there in relationships. But you can just notice those are patterns from the past, and you can move beyond them because you don't identify with them. And so with faith, with this sense of confidence, with the principle of auto-suggestion, which helps us to develop faith, we can, over time, through repetition, like working out a muscle, begin to make that change at an instinctual subconscious level, okay, until it becomes natural, until we're naturally not even needing to think about how we show up in our business and what it means for us to have more money, or what it means for us to have closer, more intimate, more connected relationships, because that's just naturally who we're programmed to be. We're reprogramming ourselves in this process. And it begins with faith. We come back to faith, confidence. With faith, that is the meaning of the word confidence. So we have this formula here, and now I'm opening the book here. So with auto-suggestion, we can utilize this formula that Napoleon Hill gave us in Think and Grow Rich to develop self-confidence. Okay, and I'm just reading, and I have a quote here from the book which kind of helped to drive this home a little bit more, and that is that thoughts which are mixed with any of the feelings of emotion constitute a magnetic force which attracts from the vibrations of the ether other similar or related thoughts. So basically what he's talking about there is that basically he's relating to this notion of a quantum field, which I don't think he was made aware of at the time, and this wasn't really in prominence in the scientific community. Perhaps Nikola Tesla a little bit before that had an understanding of this, and a few other scientists at the time. But now if you look at modern physics and quantum physics, they discuss this thing called the quantum field, which is this field of infinite potentiality, okay? And as it relates to you and your path in life, what's called your lifeline, there are these infinite potential lifelines down which you can walk from this very moment. Okay, and that is the quantum field, okay, that infinite potential of where you could go, who you could meet, the type of circumstances you can meet from this point forward, from where you are now and then going forward. And so what he's suggesting in that quote is that when you have a thought, okay, when you're focused on an ideal thought, let's say, and you mix that with the feelings associated with that ideal thought, what would it mean to be that person who thinks that thought? How would that feel physiologically? How would you embody that? That projects you onto a different lifeline because you are attracting to yourself, or rather you're placing yourself onto a different lifeline. You're settling yourself into a different vibration, frequency in your body. Okay, that's a whole other discussion we can get into for another time, that essentially at the base of all of our cells, we are purely vibration, frequency, energy. And in fact, Nikola Tesla had a quote for that. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So we could talk about that in another video. We could also discuss the law of vibration that was formulated in the Kabbalion that the Hermeticists understood. But let's go forward with this self-confidence formula, okay? Because again, all of this is premised on focusing on the ideal thoughts. And through affirmation / auto-suggestion, we can make that shift till it becomes more natural to us. So the first step in this formula is the auto-suggestion that goes like this. I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action toward its attainment, and I here and now promise to render such action. So the first step in developing faith, having greater confidence of whatever it is you're seeking to achieve in your life, more money, more love, more health, more peace. It's having a definite purpose of what it is you're wanting to attain. It's having a vision, having clarity for that vision, getting clear on what it is exactly that you want. And maybe you're at a place where you're not entirely clear as to what you want. But you're noticing that there are things in your life that you don't want. Okay, you've been excessively angry. You find yourself excessively angry, frustrated at times in your relationships, or maybe you're wanting a relationship and it's not coming to you. You feel like it's hard to maintain. Maybe you're wanting to increase your revenue, ask for more money with your services, but you're hesitant in that process, or you find again and again that people are rejecting you as you make calls in that, sales calls in that. So the first thing that you can do is to utilize that negative emotion, let's say, because that will inherently point to what it is you do want. So you're tired of being lonely? Well, so you desire some form of a relationship, a loving, caring, connected relationship, partner who's there with you and sharing with you in your journey. You're getting frustrated or tired of operating a certain level of income. Well, you want to elevate that income a little bit more so that we have a little bit more freedom, more abundance, more prosperity. Which, by the way, increasing your income, and that can be for another episode as well, doesn't necessarily translate to being prosperous. Prosperity can come in many different forms in life, but money is typically the avenue we are discussing. And typically more does lend to more prosperity, yes? But going forward, I digress. Going forward, the second step, I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. So you can see in this step, it's ultimately taking 30 minutes daily, he suggests, to think upon the person you intend to become. Simply thinking upon that person, who that person is being. So this is a form of meditation, if you will. And I would suggest even if it's 10 minutes, even if it's 5 minutes, Just taking that time in your day, once, twice, 3 times a day, if it's, if you're doing 5 minutes, just taking 1 to 2 to 3 times a day, stepping back from the external world, going within and reconnecting with these affirmations or auto-suggestions. Who, or rather what, is this ideal version of myself thinking on a regular basis? Who are they being? Who are they thinking themselves and professing themselves to be? How would they show up now? You hear the famous saying of, what would Jesus do? And, if you've listened in previous videos, we've talked a little bit about how the story of Christ is ultimately a story of Christ consciousness, and that is within each and every one of us. So you can use that similar frame here as, what would the highest version of myself, let's say, the ideal version of myself, do in this moment? How would they go forward here? So you can just use that simple tool of, what would Jesus do, or what would my highest self do in this time? But again, just focusing your thoughts for 30 minutes daily, as he suggests in the book, upon thinking yourself to be the person that you desire to be now. That is step 2. Now, step 3. I know through the principle of autosuggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining the object back of it. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence. So this is the step of another form of affirmation or autosuggestion, if you will, but it's just emphasizing a slightly different point, that so long as you hold the vision in your mind, again, through simple perseverance, right, through the trials and the tribulations, through whatever it is you're experiencing, if the external is appearing better or worse at times, right, because life, there's inevitable ebbs and flows in life, so sometimes things will be appearing to moving slow, sometimes things will be appearing moving along quickly and easily. Whatever is manifesting externally, that's okay, because we can always return to within, seeing what's the true vision, what's the true reality, that is who you desire to be. And we can maintain those affirmations, we can maintain those states of being through that muscle, right? Building that muscle of mindfulness, if you will. Building that muscle of repetition. Because that is what makes change at a subconscious level, That is why the repetition of training your body builds muscle and heals the body. It adds up at different levels. Training your mind in such a way too, repeating that, thinking those thoughts that you want to think on a day-to-day basis. Just a simple repetition of that will transform your consciousness. So that is step 3. Again, devoting 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence, of this faith. And 4th, I've clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life, and I will never stop trying until I shall have developed sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. So we kind of, similar to step 3 there, and we kind of just discussed that, right? Having that definite chief aim, understanding what it is, where you're going, having a vision, because your brain is a goal-achieving machine, your mind is a goal-achieving mechanism, or goal-seeking machine. When you place that goal in your mind and you have that vision, okay, automatically you're going to start to seek that thing out, and you can orient yourself to that path, and your thoughts and your feelings and every sensation that's going on within will help to align you to the actualization of that vision. If you want to learn more about that, maybe we can discuss this in a future video. We can discuss the principles of psychocybernetics, which was kind of a book that was formulated by Maxwell Maltz, and how the mind is a goal-striving machine. And so you can have goals consciously or unconsciously. So you can have ideal goals, or you can have goals that are unconscious, but you follow them nonetheless, even though they could be limiting, because for this reason that your goal is your mind is a goal-striving machine. And now 5th, this is the 5th and final element of this self-confidence formula. It is this: I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction which does not benefit all whom it affects. I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. So in this, it's really emphasizing that with your faith, with the development of your subconscious mind, reprogramming your subconscious mind to be more confident, have more faith in your process, whatever process that is, it is a realization of this truth that at the core of all reality, we've talked about this in the previous video, you can go watch that, all is love. We've talked about this. The base frequency is love of life. That is the base frequency of life. And so, no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. So this is just recognition of, in your affirmations, in your auto-suggestions, that when they are built upon firm principles, these sound principles upon the true nature of reality, that life is working for you, that's working for the highest good of yourself and the highest good of all, that helps to bring that vision into fruition. Not only bring it into fruition, but also to sustain that vision, to reduce feeling overwhelmed, to reduce feeling burnt out, to mitigate any potential feelings and absolve any potential feelings of guilt or shame in that process, because you know that you're being true and that you're seeking your highest good and the highest good of all. And that sustains you. And that keeps you on the path, keeps you steadfast, because you know you're rooted in the truth, right? There's an inherent connection, and this again goes back to many of the spiritual teachings. There's an inherent connection between love and truth. And that is because the true nature of reality is love, that all things are coming back or seeking a return back to love, this base vibration that is love, that you are love, that I am love, that we are love. And everything you've experienced up to this point, everything that you will experience, is teaching you how to feel and to step into greater love. Okay. It goes on to say that I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing love for all humanity. Because I know that a negative attitude toward others can never bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me because I will believe in them and I in myself. So he talks about these emotions of hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, cynicism. These are all forceful states. And David Hawkins, in his work, Power versus Force, talks about states of force, okay, these lower vibratory states, if you will, shame, guilt, fear, anger, envy, pride. All of these are forceful states. Apathy is another one. These are all states of force, and it's matter affecting matter. So just trying to make things happen, move in your external world. And so while you can make things happen in your external world, and this is kind of getting slightly off topic, but it'll come back. You can try to make things move in your external world, affecting matter to matter, but it is a strenuous and forceful process, lends one to feeling more overwhelmed, burnt out, feeling more frustrated, because you can, let's say, make temporary shifts. You can make temporary shifts, and then it will just return back to how you've been programmed. So you can see a temporary shift in your income, let's say, or maybe you have relationships working for a while, and then it collapses back to, well, now you're in financial scarcity. Well, now I'm in seeking validation externally all the time from my partner, or constantly being frustrated or angry with my partner. And so what we're looking to do here is, in this final step, to shift and to focus on more powerful states. These are the states of courage, willingness, acceptance, love, passion, joy. Okay, these higher vibratory states that induce and are more conducive to flow, working in more flow. So that way, not only in this process of self-development, of developing more confidence, developing more faith are you doing that through the skill of repetition and perseverance through these, let's say, past programs. But even that process of alchemizing these beliefs, that process of meeting the resistance and then surrendering to, but then also transmuting the resistance, because the surrendering is a form of transmutation. It's more of a flow-based process. It's more effortless. It's more natural to you, because something you may have noticed already in your life, and we all come to this realization at some point, is that this is eternal. This is an eternal journey. And so you can have goals. You have this vision, right? And you will attain that vision. I see that for you. You will attain that vision. It will be yours. It is yours. And then when that's met, you'll find a new goal. You'll find a new vision. You'll find something else to strive for. And it's an eternal process, okay? So recognizing that and relaxing in that helps us to feel more at flow, more at ease in our process of developing more faith, developing more self-confidence, to have a goal, have a vision, and set out to achieve that vision. It's a process. You're in your process. You are on your path. You're here. You're a learner. You're a seeker for truth. I love you and I thank you for being here. If you'd like to learn more, if you're interested in more, you can check out my other videos. There's a link in the description. I have a free holistic lifestyle guide, because I do believe that when we can alter our behavior, specifically as it relates to our health and our wellness, we can alter that. It only accelerates the transformation of mind. So you can check that out, The Elemental Human, Mastering the 5 Fundamental Elements for Conscious Creators. You can also check out the free Subconscious Reprogramming Masterclass as well. Link is in the description. There's an application in the bio. If you want to work with me, want to work a little bit closer, get a little more in-depth with your own personal life as to what you're working through, the change you're looking to bring about. But other than that, thank you so much for being here. I'll see you soon in the next video. And take care. Many blessings.